All right, this is the detention docket. 3/23. You're Mr. Olds?
Yes, sir, I am, Mr. Olds.
Okay, hello, Mr. Olds. This is your 10-day hearing. We've had these hearings before, so let's go ahead and get started. Ms. Huey is here in the courtroom. All right, this is the detention docket. All right, Mr. Olds, you're 17 years old. This is the Bedford CVS parking lot over vape cartridges. Girl shot in the head and or neck. Phone traced back to you. And why, Ms. Huey, why did I have him held in downtown? Okay. Oh, level 3 confined. All right. So Caleb, you were on probation for felony evading arrest with motor vehicle, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, credit card abuse, and burglary of vehicles. And then now your phone left in the car is implicated, and you were implicated in a capital murder robbery over vape cartridges. So, Mr. Olds, based on your behavior when you're here at a detention center, that's why I moved you downtown. And so I really don't know if you're behaving there or not, but that was the warning I gave you, that if you were moved downtown, that I would be that I wouldn't be able to keep track of you and decide whether it's appropriate to release you or not. So I'm going to go and continue to detain you. Okay, so I think is Caleb's mom here? Hello, Mom. Good afternoon. So did you, do they have visitation yet in the jails?
They do.
Okay, are you able to visit him? Okay, good. At least you have that. I'm glad. This is one just because of the seriousness of the offense, especially with Caleb's behavior. I think he was stealing your credit card information, I believe. What was it for the like I thought the phone was from grandmother. The phone was not registered to the grandmother? Okay. Well, that's an issue that will come out for trial. So the phone was registered to the mom? Okay. All right. But my understanding is the phone left behind in the car. Yeah, I guess they're set up for a drug deal, and then black male came in the car, went in the back seat, demanded drugs, and she said no. So hit her on the head with a gun, and then causing her to pass out, and then the black male shot her in the neck, and then got into his car and fled. And the driver was pronounced dead at the scene dead on arrival. So when it said they tried to arrange, the meet was arranged through Snapchat, and yeah. So witness said there were 3 phones belonging to them and the deceased in the car, and that there were 4 phones in the car, an Apple iPhone, and then there's warrants for the phone, conversation between the deceased and an individual named Lil Bitty Whore that took place just before the 911 call. So that phone left in the car by the suspect was registered to a consulting company, which is the same address as Caleb's grandmother in Groesbeck. And the Snapchat name was Yari, and evidently Caleb's middle name is Ken Yari. And so there's a warrant for the phone. It showed that Caleb's mother purchased the phone and the clear cover in Irving under the business name of the consulting company. Footage showed a black female, 2 black males come in at the time of the purchase, and Caleb was identified as one of the people purchasing the phone. So, track the phone to Arlington, which is Caleb's uncle, and stayed in the area until it tracked north onto the CVS parking lot where the robbery and the homicide happened. So, Caleb said his phone was lost or stolen, and that a friend picked him up at his uncle's residence, took him to McDonald's, dropped him off back at uncle's, and didn't have the phone. So, and he was arrested in Groesbeck. Right. So, and he matches the description given by the witness at the scene. So at this point, I'm just looking for probable cause of the offense happened. I'm finding there is probable cause. And because the nature of this offense is so serious that I'm going to continue to detain Caleb. Okay, Mom, I know. Caleb, your hand is raised. Your attorney's here. I'm pretty sure your attorney does not want you to say anything. Mr. Hall is nodding and saying correct. Okay, so this is not necessarily true. This is simply about probable cause, whether the police can articulate a series of statements that, if they're true, would be a violation of our laws. And I think there's enough that if they were true, I'm not saying they are true, I'm saying if they were true. Yes, Caleb, you have a question for me, or do you want to tell me something?
No, I have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
You said the witness, I was identified by a witness.
Yes.
What was that description?
What was the description? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
The description was dark-skinned male, about 170 pounds, wearing a black do-rag and a blue medical mask, and black Nike slides.
Sir, may I say something, please?
Your attorney does not want you to say anything. I don't want you to say anything because I don't want you to put yourself in a spot. This is not your trial, Caleb. This is not about whether you did this or not. This is just about if there's probable cause, if I should detain you or release you.
I know, sir. I've been getting detained since February, and my attorney hasn't really came to see me. And
okay, so this is not about the detention, all right?
I know. I just want to, state my piece.
But this is not the time to say your piece either. Caleb, this is the time for me to decide whether to detain you or release you based on probable cause and the seriousness of the offense and the fact that you're implicated on this while you're on 3 different felony probations. I'm very concerned about the safety of the public and the safety of you while this case is going on.
Sir, how can I be identified as a dark-skinned male if I am a light-skinned male?
Sir, you were identified by that as a witness. That is their description. So that is a fact for trial. This is not your trial. This isn't about whether you did or not. This is simply about whether it's safe to release you or I should detain you. Okay? I do not think it's safe to release you.
Why not?
Because you're on 3 counts of felony probation and your phone is tracked to driving to the scene where a capital murder, a robbery over a vape cartridge occurred, and puts you there. And your description evidently roughly matches the person who purchased the phone and the phone traveling to that location. Even though you told the police somebody stole your phone, it's odd that somebody stole your phone, was actually in your uncle's apartment, and then drives up to the crime scene. Okay? I'm sorry?
I said we could discuss the rest of this at trial, sir.
No, we cannot discuss this. This is probably gonna be a trial for the jury. This issue is actually the state is looking to certify you as an adult. If I do certify you, right now you're looking, I think this is a determinate sentence. So you're looking at up to, if you're found guilty or delinquent, it's up to 40 years in prison. If I certify you as an adult, you are looking at potentially up to 60 years in prison.
All of my hearings have been pushed back. I haven't had a court date set. I don't even know what my court date is set for.
Okay, your attorney said your court date is set for July 9th.
Okay.
For certificate, this is for not your trial. This is about whether I give up my jurisdiction or if I keep the jurisdiction and keep you in the juvenile court. Okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Olds. Sheriff, thank you very much for being this inmate.
All right.
All right, Mom, thank you. All right. So let's get started. This was his 10-day hearing, so I kind of skipped this part. I just want to take this chance to explain what's going on. So this is a detention docket. So in the state of Texas, when a child is brought to a detention facility, the law says you have to see a judge within 2 business days. The judge has to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, then the law says you must see a judge every 10 days while you're in custody. one that we just had right now was a child that's in custody, but in custody of the downtown adult jail because he's 17 years old. I'm going to, this is not your trial. You may have heard me say, this is simply about whether there's a problem, whether I should detain you or not. That decision is based on if there's probable cause an offense has happened. That means, can the police say things that, if they were true, would be a violation of our laws? That doesn't mean it is true. This is based on hearsay. There's no evidence. There's no sworn testimony. And then I decide if there's probable cause that I need to decide whether to detain you or release you. If I detain you, again, you'll see a judge every 10 days. If I release you, I can release you on just about any kind of condition that I can think of that is reasonable and lawful. All right, so I do want to say this, though. I am certain there's information that I'm not going to have in this report. Okay? That is information that could be very important in your case. That is something that you need to tell your attorney about. Okay? You do have the right to remain silent at this hearing. I advise you to use it. As you can tell, that I try and keep you from saying anything because I don't want you to say anything that the DA can use as they're taking notes to use it later against you. Okay, I'm really trying to protect you on this one. And you have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. Now, I will let you know that this is also to the parents that are here. I'm absolutely certain there's all kinds of information about your child that's very, very important. But that is not the purpose of today's hearing. We will not decide the final outcome of your child. What we will decide is whether I'm going to release them or not. Now, if you have information that is helpful, whether it's about the behavioral background or any kind of medical conditions or mental health by your child, that is something to tell your child's attorney. Okay? And that can come out at the appropriate time. But this is not the appropriate time. This is simply about detaining or releasing your child. I think that's it. Okay. So we'll go ahead and start with Olivia. Yes. Thank you. All right, Olivia. So let's see. You are almost 17, and you've been here before for theft of property, which you got deferred prosecution for, and credit card abuse. And all right, so yesterday, Fort Worth PD took you into custody. Let's see, you have a pending offense for evading arrest, and your probation officer, Ms. Blair, scheduled an intake interview for the day. Mom came without you, saying that you had been on runaway status for several weeks. The report was made, and you came by yourself, separate from mom, to meet with the probation officer. And so, since you're a minor, mom is your, do we have mom here?
Yes, sir.
Oh, hello, mom. Okay. And she's your guardian. You were told that you have to go back to your mom's home, and you refused to do so. So, Fort Worth police were called because you're a runaway, confirmed the active runaway status. And since you refused to leave with your mom, we took you into custody. And so we have to hold you over for a detention hearing. And here we are. The offense going on. Fort Worth PD was responding to a disturbance when they received, Crime Center received a flock activation. So a stolen car showed up on the cameras, and they followed to a church parking lot. When they got out, two of the three occupants, including you, who was seated in a rear driver's side seat, ran from the car, took off running. Officers told y'all to stop. You ran behind the church. Police found you. They pointed a taser at you. Eventually you complied, laid down, took you to arrest. Found your backpack, which had, I guess, 0.64 ounces of marijuana, 0.064 ounces of marijuana. So you got a ticket for drug paraphernalia and released to your mom. So now while your case is pending, you're refusing to come to court, refusing to go home. You're now also positive for marijuana. All right, so mom, how long was she runaway for?
Since May.
Could you stand up, please?
Since May 25th.
Since May 25th? You know where she's been at?
No, sir.
And when did she come back home?
She didn't. That's my first time seeing her was yesterday.
Okay, I see. So you showed up to the administrative hearing, but she did not because she was runaway. But you did the right thing. Well, I guess she did too by showing up. All right. Mom, you tell me, what should we do? I mean, I can release her to her, I can release her to you that she has to follow the rules. The problem is she's been a runaway for several weeks. So I'm not really inclined to release her right now because really, I mean, she's just gonna run away again. And the problem with 16-year-old girls that's run away for several weeks is she's found a way to live on the streets, which I think you and I both have problems with 16-year-old girls living on the streets. So I see your daughter has a tattoo. Was that done with your permission?
I didn't know that until yesterday.
Oh, so that,
Even her hair is different. I mean, she didn't even look like this when she left home.
okay. So her tattoo is recent then, in the last 3 weeks? Do you want to know where the tattoo came from? Will you press charges if you find out where the tattoo comes from?
I'd also like to press charges on the adult that she was with because they were here waiting for her yesterday.
Oh, so you know she was with an adult?
I tried getting a picture of the car because they were driving around the parking lot waiting for her.
Yeah, Ed, let's go ahead and start that. See, get the camera footage on license plate for Harvard to run away. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, this is what I can do at this point, Olivia. I'm at the point, I mean, this is, I think you belong at home with your mom, but I'm not gonna let you go home with your mom if you're not gonna respect her, okay? And by respect her, that means you need to be a kid. You're not gonna be act like a grown woman. That means if your mom's gonna find out who you've been with this whole time, names, addresses, all that, you have to tell her because she's your mom. She's gonna ask where the tattoo came from, who cut your hair, who's been feeding you. You need to tell her because she's your mom. So if you don't want to listen to her, then that's fine. I'm just gonna keep you here. If you're gonna change your mind and actually be a daughter, then I'll let you go home and be a daughter. I'll release you on EM for sure. But you've got these cases pending, I think. We're just looking at misdemeanors only, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Olivia, you can, if you want to hold out to your 18th birthday until I lose jurisdiction. Whose phone is that? Is that yours? Whose phone was that? Are we really gonna play this game? Just tell me whose phone it is. All right, everyone take out your phone, Ed, let's figure out whose phone is still on. Can't believe we're doing the officers of court excuse, obviously. This is ridiculous. So, yeah. Like we're in junior high.
No.
All right. This is what you dreamed about when you went to police academy, right? Okay, so anyways, Olivia, if you want, your option is you can just hold out and just sit in juvenile detention on your 18th birthday and not tell mom, and then you're on your own, and that's, I guess you can do that if you want. Otherwise, you would go home sooner. I'm not gonna let you go home until you're actually gonna be like a respectful daughter to your mom, okay? So, and that's any other questions you make. Mom, you're not limited to these questions, but what I want to do is I'm gonna detain her. You're entitled to these phone calls. We have in-person visitation again. If you feel like Olivia is being respectful to you and it's actually being a daughter, then just let Mr. Lewis know, and we'll go ahead and I'm okay with releasing her back to you. But if she's gonna do her own thing and be hard-headed, then, you know, that's what detention's for. Okay, so Olivia, this is all on you. So hold out as long as you want or short as you want, but your release is really based on your decisions. Okay, thank you. Kobe. Yes. Thank you. Okay. All right. So Kobe, this is a 10-day hearing. Been here for 10 days. We brought you in May for violating your electronic monitor because you want to go swimming pool. You're on probation for, I guess, was it aggravated assault with a deadly weapon?
Yes.
All right. And what you got here, you refuse to produce a urinalysis sample. Most recently, you're level 3 acceptable for talking without permission. Level 3 unacceptable. Okay. You know, Mr. Houston, thank you very much for listening this out. I appreciate that. So graffiti in your room, defiant, arguing with a peer, almost getting a fight, refusing to dress down. June 12th, not following instructions 4 times and arguing 2 times. June 11th, continually disrupting the program. June 9th, level 2 for talking without permission twice, defiant twice, disrupting the classroom. You have a parent here? Hello? You speak English?
I can't hear too
Oh.
good. I'm hard of hearing.
Okay.
So, I
Can you hear me?
apologize.
No, it's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what's going on with Kobe? Does he have diagnosed mental health issues?
I brought his medication with him. He just says all the time that his medication bothers his stomach. And I told him, you were ordered that if your medication didn't feel good, that you needed to let the lady know.
Right.
She had his therapist that prescribes his medication. He was supposed to have an appointment this last week. However, she went out of the country for a family emergency. They rescheduled it for the 29th, so he wasn't able to share that with her. But I did bring it so we can
Okay.
try it.
So-
But it's more behavior than anything else. On the 29th, that he left to go swimming was the day of my,
Hold on 1 second,
he
Mom.
turned, yes, sir.
So Kobe, do you think like pouting is gonna help your situation?
No.
All right, so this is the time to man up. If you're gonna make man decisions, you have man consequences. So part of the problem why we're here is because you can't just control yourself. If that's what you're gonna do, then that's what you're gonna do. But this is what we call nonverbal communication. You are telling me things without actually saying anything. So this is your time in life to convey a message to somebody like of respect that you can follow, because that's what I'm looking for, is you can follow the rules and behave appropriately. And if you hear, not even listening to what your mom has to say, keep on talking to your attorney, getting angry with him, shuffling your feet, starting to put your head on the table, these things, then you're telling me that you cannot control yourself. And I'll let you go, you do the exact same thing at home. All right, so Mom, so here's my question. You had the medication, but you just brought it today. Why did you not bring it sooner?
Why am I just now bringing it?
Yes.
I have financial,
Mhm.
I'm on disability,
Okay.
I'm fighting cancer. I had let Mr. Houston know that I would be able to bring it on the court date. I had to get some, gas money from my oldest son, to
Okay.
be honest with you.
Did you tell Mr. Houston that's why you couldn't come, or did you just say?
Yes,
I'll
sir,
come?
that is the honest truth.
Okay. So Mr.
My,
Houston-
my 2 daughters
Right.
wrecked my vehicle, so I had to get a vehicle
Mr.
for my
Houston, just
son.
next time that happens, let's go ahead and just drive out there and pick up the medication. I think it's just a better use of county resources, because I think it's important to get Kobe on this medication as soon as possible.
Yes.
All right, so I'm not upset, just saying, looking forward. Okay, well, Mom, we have the medication, thank you. When's the last time you saw the doctor?
It was last month,
Last
on the
month.
18th.
Okay, so it's a pretty recent prescription.
Yes, it says 5/18 on there.
Okay, sure.
Yes, so it's good for this.
Right, all right. So
He
we'll-
hasn't missed any appointments, like I said, next one is the 29th.
Okay, so let's go ahead and try that. Let's keep that appointment. If Kobe's behavior is good, then he gets to go home because he's taking his medication, he's behaving. When he went to the swimming pool, was he taking his medication that day? What, on the day he violated the EM and went to the swimming pool, was he taking his medication that
No,
day?
sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
so if he's on his medication, is he generally behaving okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Kobe, this is on you. If you take your meds, then it looks like you get to go home. If you don't like the way the meds make you feel, I understand, but I'm sure you don't like the way being here at Kimbo makes you feel either. So you just gotta pick which is worse. And I'm pretty sure staying here is worse. Now, that being said, Mom, let's keep the appointment on the 29th. If Kobe still can't behave here and he's refusing to take his medication, maybe he needs his prescription changed and we can go ahead and transport him over to his doctor and get the medication adjusted.
Yes.
But meanwhile, if this is a prescription, then he doesn't have a choice. He has a choice. He can take it and go home because he's behaving, or he can refuse to take it and he stays here. Okay?
Yes,
But
sir.
this is on him, this is not on you and me. All right? All right, Kobe, so I'm gonna go and detain you for now, and then hopefully you'll take your medication, and then you'll get to level 1 outstanding, and when we see you, Mr. Houston will come to me and say, Kobe's doing great, and I'll let you go home to Mom, back on the electron monitor, okay? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Mr. MEG. Yeah, because acting up is the way you go home here. If there's anything like Judge Tim, he loves it. So, is that acceptable? I was like, where's the supervisor? Hey, Judge. So is it acceptable to, for us to pick up prescription medication?
Usually we get it through our nurse.
Well, let's say that one, Mom had it.
Yeah, PM could, I mean, make arrangements to meet the family.
I can only hear one person.
They could, yeah, they could.
Okay, there's no legal, or policy.
Well, normally they do like the parents to drop it off. There is a form that they do fill out in detention.
Right.
But I know we have had situations before where the parent for some reason couldn't get up here and unless it's a controlled substance. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, the prescriptions, so they're all controlled substances.
So what we could do is go out and get the parent, bring them here, do that, and then drive the parents.
Okay.
That would probably be the best.
Because the form is what they're working on.
Okay, all right, good. All right, Lewis. All right, Lewis, really familiar with your case. Hello, Ms. Thomas. So, do we know anything about that right now?
I believe from talking with the PO, he's got a job now, he's got a co-signer on the place, and I think it'll be about 2 weeks, is that correct?
Yes. I spoke with him this morning, Ryan. He said he's been working straight since the 5th.
Okay,
Saving money. And Aunt is willing to co-sign for an apartment.
okay,
So in about 2 weeks, he'll have funds and they'll start looking for an apartment. But he wanted me to let you know that he is trying.
I believe him.
Everything he can.
okay. And Mom is here, right?
No.
No? His mom's not here, okay. All right. I'm trying, Lewis. At this point, you're doing fine. I want you out of here. I'm not gonna release you to your mom, okay? A large part of that is because while you were out, I let you out because I felt so bad your case was taking so long. But then when you went and allegedly picked up another gun, walking the streets while we had a warrant for you, your mom was hiding you. She was telling us she didn't know where you were and she was just lying to harbor you, okay? And concealing a fugitive. And so that's why I don't trust her. Like you, because you're a kid, I'll give you extra chances. Your mom's an adult. She's a grown woman and she can't lie to me because I'm never gonna trust her again, okay? And that's something that you need to think about as you get into adulthood is that once you're an adult, you really have one chance to ruin your credibility, okay? So at this point, I trust you, I'm okay releasing you, but I can't put you out on the street, not at 16 years old. So I am okay at this point, you going home with your dad, but there has to be a place for you to be, okay? So, but it sounds like he's working his tail off to find a place for you. Don't doubt his motivation. Like he is really trying to do this for you. So it looks like your dad he's made some bad decisions in the past, and now looks like he's turned the corner, and he's living the right way. So I don't need to wait for a 10-day hearing, Ms. Thomas. As soon as there's a suitable place that you approve of, I'm okay releasing Mr. Parker. Okay? But don't screw it up though back there.
You sure I won't?
I'm not worried about you. Your behavior's been great back here. Okay? All right, thank you. Scarlett. Yes. Thank you. Okay, Scarlett, 16 years old. This is the marijuana deal gone bad again. Somebody Scarlett set up on Snapchat to purchase marijuana. Guy set up to hit a lick. Victim tried to drive off. And then the other four, or some of the other four, shot him as he's driving, dead when the police arrived. History of running away. And at some point, you've run away for months at a time. All right, so we did the site for the pre-diagnostic study.
Yes, Judge, we did it early this week, so the report should be back early next week.
Okay. All right, Scarlett. So my concern here, do you understand what the law of parties is? Okay, I've explained that to you. So you understand, even though you're not accused of the one that's actually pulling the trigger, the fact that you're part of the planning or the commission or the benefit of a crime, that puts you you can be guilty of a crime, just like an actual shooter, okay? Because this is so serious, because of your history of running away, I'm very concerned if I was to let you go, I may not see you again, okay? So it is important to me. So I'm gonna detain you. I'm glad you're level 1 outstanding. I'm not missing that. But this is one of those, I'm extra cautious when somebody, especially if somebody dies, and especially part of this is a capital murder, right? That gets me very concerned about the safety of the community, safety of you. And so at this point, just like your other friends that were arrested at the same time, I'm gonna go and detain you, okay? I'm not saying it's detained forever. I'm saying right now, I'm just worried about all kinds of things. Your runaway, the fact that this is so serious, that's kind of incentive for people to not show up to court. And the fact that you've had this history of running away in the past, that makes me very cautious, because if you can find a way to live on the streets for a couple months, even if it's with your boyfriend, but you're not with adult supervision, then my question is, how long can you live? And how long before you get swept up in something really bad, okay? So, Mr. Beaver, did you want to say something?
Please, Your Honor. So you've made your decision for
Yes.
today. I hope in the future that the court will take into consideration the length of time that Scarlett has been on one outstanding. I've spoken with their parents, and they are able to adjust their schedule so one parent will be at home with her at all times.
But she's smoking weed in the house, right? That's what the parents are telling us, Ms. Guru?
I don't recall right now, Judge, I don't want to lie to you.
Your Honor, I don't believe that she's ever been on an electronic monitor. This is the first time she's ever been in trouble. And definitely I recognize the seriousness of this alleged offense. And
Yeah, so,
we're hoping that the court will entertain the opportunity for her to go home.
I mean, the report said that I'm seeing is saying that parents catch her smoking THC in her room.
Yes.
So, I mean, she is disrespecting her parents so much that she'll light up or get high in her bedroom knowing her parents disapprove of it. Her parents want her to go to get treatment, but she says no because she can quit on her own. And that she is in the part of setting up a drug deal, allegedly setting up a drug deal gone bad, where somebody got shot and killed. And so I mean, this idea of releasing her to her parents, because her parents can be around, Are the parents here?
Yes, Your Honor, both parents have been here every single time.
Yes. So do they speak English?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
I
So,
do.
oh, you do? Yeah, so the thing is, what would prevent Scarlett from just walking out? Like, she could literally take a knife, stab her mom, and run out the door and have a less offense than what she's looking at now. Right? I mean, no matter what she does criminally, would be less than what she's getting. She could murder them in their sleep, and her charge would be less than what she's looking at now. Right? Because she's only looking at a murder charge, not a capital. So that's what I'm trying to figure out is that's part of why if I was to let her go, there's every incentive for her not to show up or break the law again, because it can't get worse. Like, this is literally the worst it can get.
Your Honor, that I don't believe that there's been any report of violence directed toward any family member. And even according to the detention report, I believe that there's evidence that Scarlett attempted to have this entire incident canceled. She was sending text messages, according to the report, to try and get the co-respondents to stop. And unfortunately, it did not happen.
Right. All right, so Ms. Guerrero, let's go into, she's been level 1 outstanding since June 2nd. So why did she drop?
Failure to follow instructions, looking into someone else's room, talking without permission, negative attitude towards staff, and argumentative.
And how far did she drop down?
She was a level 2 unacceptable on May 31st.
Okay.
Your Honor, the vast majority of the time that she's been detained, she's been at 1 outstanding. And looking at this, it looks as if the longest period that she was at 1 outstanding was 30 days.
Right. No, I remember seeing at previous hearings being level 1 outstanding. And I think I remember telling Scarlett is she's doing the right thing, but it's not yet. I'd be very comfortable releasing her. See, so Scarlett, let's say I let you go and you go home and you go behave for a month and then you do your own thing. All right, if all you can do is behave for 30 days at a time, then are we looking at another? Like, are you running away again? Are you getting involved with wrong people again? Are you setting up another drug deal? Like, if it happened, right? I mean, that's the problem, is because your decisions end up being so drastic and so significant. Do you have the victims report there? Yeah, Scarlett, at this point, no. I mean, I'm just thinking the victim doesn't have the chance to go home, back to their parents, right? This is all, I'm just trying to keep everything in balance. Like, this is one with your runaway history. It just has me too concerned about you just running away again, and then me not being able to find you to have your day in court. So if you didn't do this, then that's fine. But if you did, then I need to make sure that you have your day in court, and the DA and the victim and everyone involved gets to see through the process. The fact that you ran away so much, this is your history catching up with you. You knew you shouldn't have run away, but you did, and you just didn't think the consequences would come back to you. Well, here they are. And this is just kind of looking forward. Make makes you realize every decision you make has a consequence. Even now, even the decisions that you look at somebody else's room, knowing it's against the rules, has a consequence. So I'm concerned what Mr. Beaver said. I'm not ignoring it. What I'm saying is that this is just way too serious right now. I'm not comfortable yet. Okay? Thank you, Scarlett.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Beaver. Diamond.
Coach, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, Diamond, you are almost 16. You're level 1 outstanding. You've been here for 30 days. Do we have a parent here for Diamond?
Grandmother is present, and her name is Diamond. The family's plan was for her to go to her grandmother's house, and she is actually in agreement with that plan, but
So who is who?
This is her mother. I'm her grandmother.
Okay. All right, so back in May, Forward PD dispatched a domestic. Mom had you trapped in a bedroom closet, said she told you to clean the room, you refused, took your cell phone away. So you took mom's cell phone and broke it, broke the TV, grabbed mom's hair. There was a fight, hit mom in the face about 7 times. She got you in the closet so you wouldn't damage any more property or run away. Police arrested you, brought you here. A month before, you were brought in by 4th PD about a domestic, saying that you and your mom had an argument about some things being misplaced. So you slapped your mom and she called the police. You were aggressive toward the officers, tried to leave, so they put you in cuffs. And as they walked you to the garage to talk to you and mom together, you kicked the officer, hitting him in the thigh, causing pain. So you have a psychological scheduled for June 23rd. There's a placement search ordered. Mom, does she have diagnosis of mental health issues?
Yes, ADHD.
ADHD.
Bipolar.
Is she on medication?
Yes.
Are we giving her the medication here?
No,
Okay, did you bring it to us?
I didn't know I could. We talked about this in the last hearing. I told you she was on Risperidone and tuna. You never told me to bring it. You told me you was gonna do a psych evaluation and get her meds started here.
What do you have, Mary?
On 4/12, she was released to mother to go to a doctor's appointment. Looks like she came back in 5/19.
No, about the medication. Do you have any notes about the last hearing?
Jeff Middle said her.
So mom, here, she's able to be level 1 outstanding, so she's not having behavioral problems at her detention center. And this is for 3 weeks now. Like, I'm not understanding this. Like, if she has mental health needs to the extent that she needs a prescription, then there's no reason why she should be level 1 outstanding here without a prescription. Dana, how far did she dip on her behavior level?
This time, Your Honor, while she's been here, she hasn't dropped at all. She's been level 1 since she could get to level 1. Now, there have been some minor infractions, but nothing that she lost her level for.
So Mom, why did you take her phone away? That caused the fight?
And she was supposed to clean up. She refused.
So what's the plan looking forward then? Live with grandma? Is that,
That's what, I guess she told her lawyer. I just heard it. I just heard you say something about a placement was supposed to be in order. I wasn't aware of that.
there's a placement search. That doesn't mean we're gonna place search, just we're looking at avenues.
What is that?
We're just looking at different possibilities. So
Like counseling, something like
it'll be
that?
a residential placement, behavioral.
No, I don't think we need that.
Well, that's really up to the doctor to decide. Like, I don't know the extent of her behavioral problems, right? Her mental health problems. So Ms. McDonald, what's the plan?
When I spoke to Dr. Water, she reported that she had been talking to mom and grandmother, and that the plan was for her to go to grandmother's house if she's released. Diamond is in support of that plan. She feels that grandmother can handle her needs better than at mom's house. Grandmother has been able to take care of her in the past, has some issues, and that's what she fully feels she could be successful if she did this at that time. My understanding was, based on Diamond's comments, that had been discussed within the family. It seems as though it may not have been, but that would be her wish.
Right, so mom, grandma, what are your thoughts on all this?
I'm willing to take Diamond home with me today.
Yeah, but so does she want to go with you because you don't discipline her? I mean, is that the issue that we're dealing with?
It's not that I don't discipline her. I don't have the issues with Diamond that her mother has.
What kind of issues
with
are we
her.
talking about?
Well, whatever is going on in the household, the behavior issues. I've never had a problem with Diamond.
Okay. And is this your mom?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I'm just gonna say this, because in the history of moms and daughters, there's always been conflicts in relationships, right? Like every grandma, you had conflicts with your mom too, right? So, and I'm not saying this to be mean or to be judgy, even though I'm a judge, but I'm really asking, is there something about the personalities between your daughter and your granddaughter that just makes it that they're toxic, they can't be with each other?
In my opinion, yes.
Okay. And sometimes it's just, there isn't a good mix, right? Just the way it goes. Okay. Well, Diamond, mom, does she have a history of running away?
No.
No? Grandma, can you get her back here on this 23rd for the psychological?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Diamond, I'll give you the chance, all right? Get you out before your birthday. And gotta come back to the psychological. And then you gotta come back to court for the cases. But at this point, I gotta know if there's some kind of conflict with grandma that you get brought back in here. That makes me think living with grandma isn't appropriate. You're kind of stuck here for a while, okay? So, Diamond, I just want you to be the kind of daughter that a mom would want, right? You'll have plenty of time to grow up later on. Right now, you don't have that choice. You need to behave and act like a 16-year-old girl. So that means being a little bit snarky is okay, being a little bit sarcastic is okay, being mopey and moody is okay, but you can't cross the line. And I think you know where the line is now, right? So I'm not gonna put you on electronic monitor. You came in clean, so I'm not gonna require drug testing either, all right? So this is your chance, and then hopefully this all worked out, okay? Thank you, Diamond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please let Mr. Richardson know if she's not behaving. Okay. All right, that's it for everyone. Thank you. Mr. Adler, you have a chance to explain things? Yeah. It could be rough in here. see how important it is to me to respect your parents and grandparents, right?
Yeah.
And I know your mom and dad isn't around, but you can tell what it's like for me, for the kids that don't respect their parents. If I hear about you disrespecting grandpa, it's easy to bring you back here. It's really easy. So it's on you. And now you know what I expect from all the kids that come in this court. You either live up to it or you don't. And if you do, you live up to it, you stay home. If you don't, you come here. It's that simple.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.